Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Afsa Rosette. If you're new here, thank you for joining, and if you've returned, thank you for sticking with me. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 2-year loc journey. Yes, that's right, I have officially made it to 2 years locked. Can I get a drum roll, please? Can I get a drum roll? So I can't believe it's actually 2 years. It feels like, at times it felt like it was dragging, not gonna lie, and there were moments where I felt like it just started to speed up. Yeah, I love a good chit chat. And so I think today's video is going to be a combination of all three. Like I said, a chit chat, a compilation of pictures and videos of my loc journey and some of the lessons learned. And so grab yourself a cup of tea. It's cold here in London, so I've got myself some matcha tea, and yeah, let's get into it. And I really try not to make this video long, so okay, let's take it back to October 2021 when I officially started my loc journey. I was hella excited. I kind of like knew what I wanted to start with, especially because my hair was short. And if you've come across my video through my 1-year loc journey, you'd know that I started with very short locks, very short hair. So I started with the comb coil method, which felt like the easiest thing I could do at the time. It was nice. They looked really cute. At the beginning, I wasn't kind of like, they took adjusting to, especially because I wasn't used to, I guess, rocking like comb coils, right? So it took adjusting. I was gonna say, because the prior year I had gone completely skinhead bald, and I'll insert a picture somewhere here or a video. It wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't at the beginning, but there was a caveat to this. I didn't realize that between no retwist days was gonna be such a struggle. I'm chilling, contemplating life and thinking, should I just cut these locks because I'm getting impatient? Look at the state of them, come on. Literally, look at the state of them. Isn't it? It was a real struggle. At the beginning, once you get that retwist, it's nice, it's beautiful, you're looking cute. I really like my comb coils. I would 100% rock them if I didn't even have locks and I had short hair. I would 100% rock the comb coil look. But the issue is, in between retwist days, that's when it was a struggle, because they'll either unravel, and I know I can't really retwist them myself. At the time, I was relying on my loctician to do that. I'll have one going that way, another one going that way. It was a madness. And I'm documenting this, even though I'm not going to share it. I'll probably share it, let's say 2-3 years down the line when my locks are flowing down my neck and my back. But I hope this is all going to be worth it, because the way these locks are looking like after a workout and my next retwist, it's like I'm 3 weeks post retwist, and my next retwist is probably like 3 weeks away. So just 6 weeks because of the holidays. But this is what they're looking at after having a workout. I'm about to have a wash soon. But yeah, I'm looking a hot mess. I just hope they're worth it, because after 2 years down the line, or 3, 4, if they're not looking nice, it's like, what was all this for? Like, gosh. Especially this. That's the bit where I feel like I really struggled with, and I guess it's one of my first lessons, which is to trust and let go. A lot of times I found myself binging on YouTube. I mean, if you're here, you're probably doing the same thing that I did. If you're yet to start your loc journey or have just started, I was doing that, and it was amazing at first, but I realized that it didn't give me the ability to just trust and let go. I was constantly thinking, am I there yet? Am my locks budded yet? Am my locks started locking yet? Have I gained a little bit of length? Remember, I started with short locks. So I just didn't have the ability to just trust and let go. But that's, I guess, one of the main lessons I learned within that first year, is to be able to just trust and let go. One of the things I noticed within, I guess, the first 6 to 7 months, I realized that I was getting build up at the back of my hair, which resulted in me, again, getting build up and not wanting to go to the loctician so much, because I started to research, okay, what gels could I use that won't cause me build up, if you can see there. It was a struggle. I was like confused, I was upset, I was like, what do I do? How do I get this out? So I started experimenting, and I was looking at different kind of gels, and I've got a video on the best loc gel to use, experimenting with, I was essentially just experimenting with loc gels, And I realized that, you know what, I can't find the one that works for me, so I'm going to create my own, which is, I'm actually launching my first Loc Gel myself, which is actually the reason why I started. It's called KUZA Hair Styling Gel. It's a strengthening gel for locks, braids and edges. Sign up to the link in my description box to get 10% off when we launch. So I wanted to create something entirely that will help anyone that's struggling with some of the things I was struggling with. Prevention is better than cure. Fast forward now, I'd say that was 9 to 12 months. I started playing around with styles. Not so much, because I'm one of those Loc girlies that likes minimal styles. I want to have the most minimal, I guess. I don't want pressure on my scalp. Firstly, I've got a tender scalp since getting locks. Let me know in the comments below, is this something you guys struggle with? Because not only have I suffered from tender scalp, I've also got itchiness that has increased significantly. Some days are better than others, and I think I've learned what works for me. So I guess if you are newly Loc or you're contemplating on getting locks, honestly, pay attention to your body. Become so in tune with how you feel, because I realized that within the Loc community, everyone's going to tell you what works for them, and I'm going to tell you what works for me here, right? But also just bear in mind, you can try it, give it a go, see if it works for you. If it does, amazing. If it doesn't, try and figure out what works best for your scalp. So for me, I'm someone that I don't oil my hair every day. Some people will tell you, oh, your hair every 2 to 3 days. I don't even do that, because when I start to do that, my locks or my scalp starts to become so itchy. And so I only I only oil my hair in between wash days. And I wash my locks, I guess, once every 2 weeks. Well, I used to wash it once every 2 weeks, but now I wash my locks every week. So that means I can oil my hair at least once a week. And I would never go longer than 2 weeks without washing my hair, just because my scalp will be killing me. The 6 to 12 months I spent figuring out what works for my hair in terms of styling, in terms of just oil methods, in terms of moisturizing methods. And I also figured out that I don't want to be retwisting my hair once every month, because I found that I was getting very thin locks. So I started to extend my retwist days. I started doing once every 2 to 3 months. And I found with that, actually I used to do once every 2 months. A year, that's when I started doing at least once every 2 to 3 months. And again, I found that also didn't work for my hair. So like I said, pay attention to what works for you, because some things that others are doing might not necessarily work for you. I think the Keisha Charmaine, there's a beautiful lady with a beautiful set of locks. I believe she retwists her hair every 2 weeks, and her hair, naturally, she doesn't look like she's got thin locks. I think her locks obviously are on the smaller side, but they don't look like they are thin because of over retwisted. They just look like they're on the smaller side based on how she started them entirely. And I'd love to be able to maintain my locks in a way that still maintains the size of my locks from initiation, rather than compromising it based on just over retwisting. So post 1 year now, I feel like that's when I started to, that's when I jumped on here as well, and I started to showcase my Loc journey so much more. I started experimenting with styles this last year. I was about to say it's been amazing, but it has. I'm not actually exaggerating. It has. I'd say the first year it wasn't. The first year was hard. I started showcasing my Loc journey on here, which meant that I could experiment with some styles, even though I'm not someone that does extreme tight styles or over out there styles. I do want to get better at incorporating different styles, but I guess showcasing my Loc journey on here has helped. And I've started to pay attention to how my hair actually feels. So going back to that whole moisturization, I had to change my moisture routine. Before, I used to just solely spritz with aloe vera, which again, just because I was watching YouTube videos and people will state that the aloe vera would help them with the moisturization, but what I found that the aloe vera was actually causing me itchiness, and so I opted out I removed that entirely from my hair mist, and I just started focusing on just rose water, essential oils, and an oil that worked for me. I started utilizing different kind of herbs that I will create for my oil mix, and I will try and see if I can do a video someday on all of this, the oil mixture and everything else, to help you as well if it provides you with any benefit. And I started focusing on my edges. I haven't really struggled with my edges this year. I feel like I struggled with it a lot more post me cutting my hair when I went completely bald, and I'll insert pictures on here. And I managed to actually save my edges, right? But I wanted to make sure that as a result of me now having locks and the tension it puts when you're retwisting, I want to still make sure and maintain the length and the length and the health of my hair, which is why some of the styles that I do on here are very low tension, low manipulation styles, so that I can actually allow my hair to thrive at its most optimal, I guess, states and level without actually compromising it based on just styling. I feel like you can have the two can kind of exist together. Also learned that acceptance. Firstly, acceptance and the standards of beauty, because a lot of times, again, our styling needs are as a result of our beauty standards that have been passed along generations that result in us either doing things that are quite damaging to our hair, and accepting that just because my hair doesn't necessarily look like, you know, put together in quotation marks, doesn't mean that it's not beautiful as it is, which meant that I started to experiment with a lot more no retwist styles, a lot more no retwist days, and just letting my hair just do its thing. And for me, that's part of the reason why I started my Loc journey. I wanted to be able to feel free, you know. For me, hair free means freedom. It means the ability to express myself without actually feeling confined to other beauty standards, in addition to just feeling confined to styling that hurts or damages my hair and hurts my scalp, you know. So this last year, I've stopped focusing so much on what others are doing with their hair and feeling Loc envy, because Loc envy was real the first year, right? I started to understand what my locks mean to me. I've started creating, I guess, associating it with meaning, and for me it means that my locks has actually brought me closer to myself. It's brought me closer to me, my inner self, and understanding some of the things and the ways that I can try to nurture myself, because ultimately, and what we show outwardly is an extension of what we put in inwardly towards ourselves. So my Loc journey, I guess the last year, was as a result of figuring out, like, what is it that I can do to optimize the health of my hair? What am I taking in? Am I drinking enough water? And just playing around with how my body was feeling, because ultimately what I put in is what shows and comes out. So, and also just paying close attention to the locks, like, what am I seeing in these locks? So the last year, again, like I said, the build up, I haven't actually had a detox. I am planning on having one. I was meant to have one my second year Loc journey. I'm not sure whether I want to do it myself or whether I'd go to a loctician to get it done. And also figuring out what it is. I started Loc brushing, and one of my videos before, I think I mentioned that that's something I don't do myself, and nor do I personally do, because I never really agreed with it, but I've actually seen the benefit of doing so, especially before wash day, and to get rid of the lint. I've been paying close attention to my locks and ensuring that I don't get lint, because there was a time, and I think it's one of my videos here, I'll link it. It's when I did the Loc wash, my Loc wash day. Oh my God, like the build up on the back of my locks was insane. The thing is, it was build up because of a combination of things. It was a lint, it was gel, it was just, God knows, you'll probably find like a bird's nest in there at that rate, because it was insane. And I remember that day I did the best that I could to try and get rid of the amount of lint I had, and I did. But I feel like since then, I've tried to, again, do the whole prevention is cure method by making sure that I'm always sleeping with a bonnet. Back then, I wasn't even sleeping with a bonnet. I'll sleep with a head wrap. And by the time morning comes, the head wrap was literally halfway across my room. When I would lay on my sofa, when I would lay on my blanket, my locks was just there. And I never really paid attention. My jumpers, I'll just put them on without actually covering my hair first. And now I pay special close attention to those little things that I never really paid attention to before, which is good. The other thing I was going to say is, I guess, one of the first year or second year, there were times where some of my locks I felt like were thin, so I combined them. There was a point in time as well, I believe it might have been nine months in as well, where I combined a lot of my locks. I went from like 122 to like 60 locks. and it looked beautiful. I'm going to see if I can insert a picture here. I loved the look. But then after I started to think, oh my gosh, Afsa, you've literally combined your locks from 122 to 60. Firstly, I'm scared that I'm going to have some flat locks. No offense to no flat locks, but I didn't want the flat look. It looked beautiful, but I just thought long term, are these going to grow out flat as a result? Or am I going to get like a cylindrical shape and then a flat end shape? And I didn't really want that. I do actually want uniform locks. And then there was a time where I decided to unravel them again. And I feel like my locks suffered because of it. And some locks are much thinner than others now. And some I wasn't able to actually unravel. And as a result, I've got some combined locks here and there. I've got some two-headed dragons. Yes, I've got this one here. I've got a combination of ones like that in my locks. That's essentially what I learned. I learned that my third lesson was essentially my locks bringing me back to my inner self. It allowed me to celebrate my own authenticity, allowing me to just, I know my locks hurt. Like for me, I don't know, I don't think I'll ever cut them. Maybe I will. But for now, I don't see that end point where Afsa has had enough of her locks where she'll just cut them. And if I do, it will probably because my locks of my hair are no longer my hair is no longer healthy, in which case I'll probably restart them again eventually. Or my hairline is just gone and I just have to just cut my hair. But I don't see myself cutting them because it's the closest thing that brings me back to me. And that's one of the lessons I've learned. It's allowed me to come back to oneness. And it sounds so cheesy, but honestly, it's true. I actually wake up like this. And I can't think of any other style, aside from being bald, that allows me to just wake up like this without actually maintaining or changing my hair in a way that doesn't really feel like me. And so, yeah, that's what I've loved on this lock journey. I'm going to take my hair out. Obviously not the lock knots. Are they called lock knots? Lock knots. I'm not going to take these out, but I'm going to take these out so I can do like a quick little lock tour for you guys to see. And in addition to that, I will show you what the last, I guess, year has been. I feel like I do need to take more pictures of my locks though, like as in the back of my locks. I tend to take front. The first year I was taking a lot more selfies, which didn't actually showcase my actual locks. But year 3, what I want to do is I want to take more pictures. What do I want to do more in year 3? I do want to kind of like play around with colours. I'm so shocked though. I'm so scared. I'm one of those people like, I want to do it. I'll be seeing girls with lock colours and I'm just like, girl, that looks so cute. But do I want to do it? I do. Will I do it? I'm not sure. So I think if I do it, it will probably be summertime. And if I do it, it will probably be a couple of locks, not all of my locks. Say this because it will probably be like the back row of my locks. I thought, why not? Since I've got lint there, I might as well just try and camouflage it in some way. Or the front. It's going to be like a skunk stripe rather than just a full head. Because I'd rather do that and see if it changes the texture of my hair in any way rather than actually going in and just doing everything entirely. But it'll probably be summertime as well, because right now the way the weather is in the UK, it's too cold to be down my locks. My worst fear, or like my worst nightmare, is like me doing my hair and then my lock falls out. I've seen women that will be talking about this like, oh, Afsa, yeah, I was retwisting my hair, and because I've dyed it, I had just chunks come out. And I don't know, I'm a Taurus, so the idea of just parting ways with my hair feels like torture. Yes. This is what 2 years looks like. My locks are kind of dry this morning as well, so bear with me. Yes, let me show you guys the combined locks. Can you see that? These two, they're combined. This is combined. So yeah, but yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you. I know it's probably been like a long video. I'm going to try and just chop it up and make it short because sis can talk. But if you made it this far, thank you for joining. If you've returned again, thank you for sticking with me. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share it with a friend. If you haven't yet started your loc journey, maybe this is actually your sign to start. And if you have started, let me know in the comments, how's your journey going? How far are you within your loc journey? What have been some of your painful lessons? What have been some of your beautiful lessons as well? And yes, I shall see you in the next one. Peace.